Hi, this is Dr. John Rogers, and welcome to this week's episode of the Financial Independence Podcast. Every week, people go to the local supermarket and readily take advantage of any available sales or redeem food stamps in order to save money. However, because of inflation, most people have noticed that $100 today certainly doesn't buy as much food as it did before. That's why in today's podcast, I'm going to give you the secret sauce to becoming a smarter shopper, so that you'll be able to purchase more groceries each week for less money. The first thing that you must understand is that supermarkets make use of what economists call choice architectural methods to entice you into buying their products. This results in shoppers buying more things on impulse, and often more expensive things than they would otherwise buy. The manipulation of your buying impulses starts even before you arrive at the supermarket. You may receive a notice online that the prices of certain items have been reduced for a limited period of time, and thus you rush to the food store to buy these items, even though you may not need them. This method of enticement works well for supermarkets because it taps into two very powerful instinctive impulses. The first is risk aversion, which means that you're afraid that you might miss out on buying the offered item if you don't get to the food store before the offer expires. The second is scarcity, which is if you don't get to the food store in time before other shoppers, then the food store will be sold out of the item. Also, in many instances, shoppers may have food stamps accumulated from previous visits to the supermarket. The supermarkets know that this is a very effective way of creating customer loyalty because shoppers will invariably use these stamps to obtain a discount on their next visit to the supermarket. Once you're in the supermarket, you'll notice the interior walls of all food stores are painted in earth colors. These types of colors not only stimulate the impulse of hunger, which is important because after all, you're in a food store shopping for food, but more importantly, the colors induce you into a state of relaxation so that you're more likely to open your wallets or take out your credit card and spend money. Some stores even use music to induce you into buying products. For example, let's say that when you're in the section of the store that sells wines from different countries, there's Italian music playing in the background. Even though the Italian wines might be more expensive than the wines from other countries, many shoppers will, by impulse, buy a bottle of Italian wine because of the association between the Italian wine and the Italian music. The second thing that you need to know is that the most expensive brands in the supermarkets are always located on the shelves at eye level. The second most expensive on the lower levels, and the least expensive are located on shelves above eye level. The supermarkets know that most shoppers, especially older shoppers, don't particularly like bending down because of some physical ailment like arthritis. Unless you're a child or a person of very short stature, you're not accustomed to looking in an upward direction. Of course, what you don't know is the food industry manufacturers pay the supermarkets a so-called shelf fee to place their brands at eye level, and thus the supermarkets are always monetarily incentivized to place these brands at eye level. The third thing that you should know is don't be fooled by the information on the product labels or the color of the price tags. For example, if a particular label indicates that a product is 90% fat-free, as opposed to only containing 10% fat, the average shopper is more inclined to buy the 90% fat-free item rather than the only 10% fat-free content item, even though the former may be more expensive than the latter, because the perception is that the former is more healthy even though both products have exactly the same percentage of fat content. Many persons are attracted to items that are appealingly packaged, even though the same item packaged in a less appealing package may be less expensive. As well, older shoppers may be attracted to items with red packaging because in the past, red labels were often put on items that were on sale, and so their brains associate the color red with an item being on sale. Also be aware of packaging labeled economy size. These boxes or packages may contain less product proportionally than a larger or smaller box, and thus you're actually paying more for less product. As you walk perpendicular to the aisles, you'll always see items located on the end of each aisle, labeled as specials. Automatically, shoppers are attracted to these items because their brains are programmed into thinking that special means on sale, because both the words special and sale begin with the letter S. You should always avoid buying these items because they're never sold at a bargain price. They're the store's most expensive and highest profit margin items. Before you leave the store, you may want to purchase a few pastries or dessert items. As you walk through this section of the supermarket, you may be approached by one of the sales clerks and asked if you'd like to sample a particular type of, say, ice cream. There's a 40% chance that if you sample the ice cream, then you'll either buy the ice cream or some other item in this section of the supermarket because of what is known as reciprocity. That is, human nature is such that if someone does something for you, you initially feel compelled to do something for them of equal value. And then it comes time to check out of the food store, and so you go to the teller with the shortest line of customers. As you patiently wait in line, there are a myriad of snacks, gums, and candies conveniently located for you to put into your cart while you wait in line. You probably have never taken note of this, but these items are located in between eye level and waist level. The reason for this is that people often shop with their kids. Guess what? The kids are usually shorter than their parents, which puts all these snacks and candies at the eye level of the kids. The kids will see the candy and, being kids, ask their parents to buy at least one item of candy for them. Another trick that supermarkets use is to lure you into choosing and buying the most expensive candy. This is based on two choice architectural principles. The first is that when shoppers are faced with more than three choices, say of chocolate bars lined up in a row, most shoppers cannot decide which one to buy. However, because our brains program our eyes to look directly in front, we only use our peripheral vision for looking at the things off the side. Thus, when faced with a row of candies, the eyes will automatically be attracted to the candy brands located in the center of each row of candies. In 9 cases out of 10, this brand of candy is usually more expensive than the other candies in the same row, but nevertheless, you buy it. And then you finally reach the teller, and she tallies up all of the items and then says, "Would you like to donate $2 towards some cause of the month that the supermarket may be sponsoring?" And of course, you say yes, because your brain is innately programmed to helping those who you perceive to be less fortunate than yourself. So I have provided you with all of the tools that you need to become a smarter shopper and pay less money for more food. If you only buy items on the shelves that are located above eye level, avoid buying the specials at the end of each aisle, and are not fooled by packaging tricks, then you'll be able to save at least between $10 to $20 each time you go to the food store. This may not sound like a lot of money, but always remember the old English saying, if you look after the pennies, the pounds will look after themselves. So thanks for watching this episode of the Financial Independence Podcast. And if you're interested in becoming more financially literate, then please feel free to sign up to this channel.